Okay, this is my first viewer request video, so I do appreciate those of you that have been commenting and interacting. It's part of why I'm here, so I can't promise I can always make them in a timely manner, but this one I'm going to give a go. I've not done web design since November, so I may stumble through a couple of things here, but we're going to look at CodeHS, the Advanced Web Design, which was Unit 5, Lesson 16, which is Interaction. Obviously, there's a video you can watch that kind of goes through the key concepts on the quiz. I did kind of go through that before I did just to make sure I could remember. So a couple of questions there. And then we have a few examples. And really, when I'm doing these for the first time, I lean on the examples pretty heavily because typically what they're going to ask us to do in the exercise is some variation of what we've seen in the example. So we've got a few that I'm probably going to come back to. So I've got some that, something happens when we hover, some that, maybe something happens when we click. So so this one, if we click on that, the background changes. If we click, the text size changes. We click filter change. We click a rotation. So there's lots of different things we can do. So our first exercise is going to be button interaction. There's some directions. I'm going to pop them back up in a second. But what we want to be able to do is have a button get lighter, almost like it's highlighted when we hover over it. And then when we click it, it gets a little bit darker. And then if the one that's unclickable, we want to have that little symbol. So, and it tells us the exact code we'll need to do that. So let's get started. So right now we've got clickable, unclickable, reload, quit, and I may have had something from tinkering earlier. So let me go back to my let me see if I may have already done this one. I couldn't remember. Let me see. Yeah, so that one already does work. So what I did was I updated the class clickable with the action to hover, and for that I did a filter with a brightness of 150. That may be a bit much, so let me reset that and see if it's a little bit more subtle. And then that's probably a little bit too much too, so let me do like an 80. So I think I was just playing around with those. And then when we click, it does change. So unclickables, right now, quit and unclickable should have that. So that's the CSS you'll need. So you don't have to do anything in the index.html file for this. It's just going to be these lines of CSS. All right. And we got all the green checks, so we're good to go. Alrighty, this one, create your own tooltip. Let's see what we can do here. Let's redesign our pop-up captions from earlier. This page only has the picture of the well and the text describing it. The goal is to get the text to appear to the right of the picture, centered vertically, when the user hovers over the picture like this. Okay. So step one, so this one is going to have a good bit there. We got some box model stuff. So it's going to be easier to see what we have. So right now we've got an image that is not even working. That could be an issue. So probably what we're going to have to do before we do anything is find a picture of a well. I don't know if I go and look at assignment. So I'm going to try to find a similar picture first of all, because I think this is part of the issue is something's broken. Orca jumping out of water. And I am going to just look for images. Don't know that I can find the exact one, but we'll try to find one that has similar dimensions, let's go back one more time. Sorry about that. So it's like it's pretty much a square. Alrighty. And I'm probably spending way too much time on this part, but kind of struggle sometimes with detail-oriented stuff. So let's go with this one. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click. I'm going to save. I'm going to copy the image link. And I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to change that image link because that appears to be broken at the moment. So I'm going to paste that in. Let me go to my output. Okay, so we at least have an image of a whale now. So that was probably problem number one, if anybody that was having issues, as the link was broken. Okay, so now we can actually see what we're supposed to do. So select the Output tab, and then the Pop Out button on the far left of the URL bar in the output window. Alrighty. And I'm being allow pop-ups. Okay. I did that. Use the browser inspector to inspect what will be the tooltip. Alrighty, try entering values for left and top until you can position the text like it is in the picture above. This is kind of hot garbage, to be honest with you. If you look in the Styles tab of the text is okay. So I guess they're wanting me to go to my browser inspector tools. Which I believe is going to be here. Yeah, this tooltip. Okay. So for the tooltip, so I'm having to go through. This is, if you see what I'm doing here, this is right, so this is ID whale tip class tooltip text. Okay, and I'm going to try to bring this up. Yeah, so this is kind of showing me what I need for that. So over here you can see what's going on: box sizing, content box, display block, normal, absolute. So there appears to be no padding at all. There's a width, there's a background color, there is a text align center, there's a border radius, there's a z-index, there's no left or top or padding. So something weird going on there. So okay, so I am going to go to class tooltip text. So this is what they have. Was it a border radius of 6? Yeah, so this is what's already there. I don't know why they wanted me to come here. This is yeah, this is whole step 1. So this was obviously supposed to be the example. And I'm not getting, let me try that. There we go, okay. That's what I need to do. Wow, that was some crazy stuff. I don't know how they expect a high school student who is new to web design to figure all that out. So, okay, now we're cooking. Okay, so now we want to find our tooltip. And there's a lot of... Message banner, H1, badge points, all sorts of crazy stuff. Alrighty. Okay, I apologize for the... Um, tooltip, and it's a reference. Here we go. Okay, so we've got, looks like some left padding of 12. All of that said, I probably would have been better off just trying to figure this out on my own, which is what I'm about to do. So again, right now, we go to output. All right, we have, all right, position the text relative to its container. Despise relative, alrighty. Let's reset. Let's see if that padding does anything. Nope. And again, I don't like to do absolutes. I like to do percentages. So let's see what happens if we do a 25%. That moves it down. Let's do 35. Let's see what happens if we just do a good old 50%. All right, that does center it, and then left. Let's do about a 10%. Okay, so that's going to be from the edge of the page. That's good to know. Relative to its container, I did not read. Let me try 75. Now the issue with what I'm doing is that's still gonna be %. There we go. I'm gonna do 110%, and we're off. Okay. That's not perfect, but it'll work. Step 2, and the padding and margins. Okay. This is something I wanted. So now add the visibility attribute to the CS rules tooltip hover. All right, let's see if that is already there. It is here. So and I think right here, Let me see what visibility, if that's going to be. So this is where I go to the what we call the Google machine, and we can do CSS, visibility, attribute, and we got to figure out which one. I'm assuming so visible, hidden, collapse. Okay, inherent. So this is where we've got to play around with it. So I'm assuming on a hover, we would want it to be visible. All right. The page is hidden and only shows up when the cursor hovers. So I would think on the hover, that's where it would visibility hidden and visibility hidden. That would be my guess. Let me reset. Okay, so now that made my image go away too. So the tooltip hover, tooltip text, okay, and tooltip. Okay, so I don't need it on tooltip. Okay. That took a moment. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we got that one figured out. That was a booger. So we've got it working. May not be perfect. Let's see if I get green checks. Your program has been submitted. Okay. Submit and continue. Not sure if I got green boxes or not. Okay. Ooh, this one I remember helping a student with last semester. I should have made a video back then. Let's copy your code from Worldwide Foods Part 3. Here is what I am going to do, unfortunately, for time's sake. Let me go to teacher view and let me see. Grade assignment. Output test cases. Yeah, let me do this. And I apologize for not being able to go through and explain. But I'm just going to do this. I'm going to copy the HTML on the index file. Okay. And I'm going to copy this CSS. I do apologize for not giving a greater explanation, but I don't think I did that previous lesson on here, and I don't want to spend forever doing that. So hopefully this will be acceptable. Okay, let me go to output, refresh. Okay, there we go. So we've kind of got some different things we can do. And each one of these is like spinning and doing all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through slowly. I'm going to go to the assignment. First, copy. All right, you won't need to modify your HTML file. Okay, so you don't need to see that if you have it previously. It says remove the serve animation completely from the CSS file. So let me make sure. Okay, I don't see serve there anymore. So if you had anything with serve, get rid of that. Now you will transition smoothly. So when you hover over any platter element, it should transform by rotating 360 degrees. So where that's going to happen, I can show you that. So this platter hover, all right, we've got the transform, rotate 360 degrees. Okay, it should also change so its height and width or 400. So that's what we're seeing right here under the platter hover. Then add the transition attribute to the class platter. So that's right here. Okay, and it says the height and width over a span of 2 seconds. So that's right here. All right, the background image over a span of 2.5 and the transform over 3 seconds. So that's what's going on right there. And I guess that was the only thing to really do that you needed to add was get rid of serve. But assuming you didn't have the previous one, let me know. I can try to spend some time. But basically what we needed to do was right here. Okay, let's submit and continue. Okay. Okay. Copy your files from the career website, separate content. This one I kind of didn't do with my students once it reached a certain point. But again, I can kind of help out a little bit. So we've got some different, let's look at the assignment on this one. Copy your files from career website. Go to the box model, blah, blah, blah. First add a rule for when you hover over the image of the height, then add the transition. So it looks like pretty much everything. So pretty much everything is going to be in the CSS. So let's just kind of look at that. And I know there may be a lot to it, but again, I'll just kind of use this as a quick helper for today. I hate to... Okay, so let's see what we really should... So we should be... First, add a rule that when you hover over an image, that it makes the width of the and the height 400. Okay, so we're looking for something that has a, so right here, that would be that first step. Okay, so image, hover, height, 400 pixels, width, 400 pictures, okay? Then add the transition attribute to the image tag, so that's right here, to enable the width and height to smoothly transition over the span of 1 second. So that's that. If you check out the results now, you'll notice that the background of main jumps sizes. Fix this problem by adding min height 600 pixels to the main rule. So right here with main, we added minimum height 600 pixels. All right, and what that's doing is making sure that the main height is at least 600 pixels. So it can't get less. Okay, that one should be good to go. Alrighty, and I believe that concludes the lesson. So sorry, it was kind of a fumble there with having to pull from the solutions, but I just wanted to make sure I save you some time. If you have further questions, please let me know. Hope this was helpful.